ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming this afternoon. On rare occasions, we're having a press conference in Lautoka. I'd like to also announce this afternoon that, as has been announced in the budget, in the 2017-2018 budget, that the bus fares will also be reviewed following consultations with a view for a reduction in the bus fare rates. But obviously, we need to hear from all parties. And today we'd like to announce that there will be an 8-member committee that will be reviewing the current bus fares that we have, and the various factors that go into the input of determining the bus fare rates. As you know that the bus fare rates had been locked in for a number of years prior to 2014, where we had actually, I think it was around about 2013 or 2012 or so, where we were locked in with bus fare, bus companies, in particular when the price of fuel skyrocketed to around about $148 a barrel. This is in fact around about 2012 when we reached an agreement with them, or 2011 thereabouts, where we had decided that the bus companies would keep the VAT component of the bus fare. They would not have to pay the VAT component. And they would keep that to help them in those periods. Of course, the price of fuel has come down quite significantly. It hovers around less than $50 US a barrel. But overall, of course, there are many other factors that need to be taken into account when considering the bus fare rates. And we had said that with e-ticketing now, and with the ability to gather a lot of intelligence, a lot of data in respect of the loading, and the fact that there will now be leakages stopped from within the system. As you know, that bus companies have said that nearly a third of the income used to be essentially leaked because of the fact that it was very cash-based, and therefore they're losing approximately about a third of their takings on a weekly or daily basis. So taking that into consideration, the committee will be set up, which will be chaired by the CEO of the Fijian Competition and Commerce Commission, Mr. Joel Abraham. And the other members of the committee will include the Governor of the Reserve Bank of Fiji, the Solicitor General, his office will also provide the Secretariat, the CEO of the Consumer Council of Fiji, Ms. Premila Kumar, the CEO of LTA, the President of the Fiji Bus Operators Association. We'll also have the President of the Fiji Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Peter Mazie. And we'll have, of course, the CEO of Fiji Revenue and Customs Services. So these are the 8 people with various different types of skill sets they'll bring with them, represented by the level of knowledge and intelligence they have from the respective organizations. They'll bring the respective data. We expect them to also go around Fiji to have public consultations and public input from members of the public, from, of course, individual bus companies too, that will be represented through Bus Operators Association, but there's nothing stopping them from talking to individual bus companies. As you know, that there are different types of, different sizes of bus companies with different challenges, so we need to hear from those bus companies too as to what their issues are. And of course, like we said, hear from members of the public. And we hope to have the new bus fares as announced in the budget proceedings, that we'll have the new bus fares put in place by the 1st of January 2018. So that is what we are announcing today in respect to the committee members. So just to highlight again, it will be chaired by the CEO of the Fijian Competition and Commerce Commission, Mr. Joel Abraham. The members will be the Governor of the Reserve Bank of Fiji, the Solicitor General, the CEO of the Consumer Council of Fiji, Ms. Premila Kumar, the CEO of LTA, the President of the Fiji Bus Operators Association, which is Mr. Richard Lal, the Fiji Chamber of Commerce President, which is Mr. Peter Mazie, and the CEO of the Fiji Revenue and Customs Services. So that's the committee that will be put in place. The other issue that we'd also like to highlight is the issue pertaining to, that has been brought to the fore, as we foretold, that with e-ticketing now, because it is completely brought about a heightened level of transparency, as we can now know exactly, as we have said, that you know exactly how many people are sitting on the bus, you know where these people have gone on the bus, at what point in time people got on the bus. So this is very, very good level of intelligence and data, both for LTA and the bus operators themselves, and also for Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority. It has also meant that now we have a cashless approach, which means there's less theft, less pilfering. But it also means that a lot of the bus companies are being held to account in respect of how they treat their bus drivers. As we know that it was an unwritten rule that bus drivers would get a lower salary, but they would take part of the takings. So because it was cash, a lot of bus operators have said to us that generally the bus drivers would take out a third of the day's takings as their side salary, so to speak, and then the balance would be given to the bus operators. We have of course also discovered that there were certain bus companies that had what we call in law a bail-law and bailee relationship. In other words, a lot of these bus drivers, some of them have been driving for decades, or over at least one case which has been brought to our attention today, for at least 1 decade, for 10 years, being paid extremely low salary, but he was allowed to take a certain percentage of the day's takings. So in the meantime, no FMPF has been paid, does not get any meal allowance, does not get any holiday leave, there is no sick leave, because the relationship is what you call a bail-law bailee. So I give you this bus, you go and run it, make as much money as possible, you give me a certain amount of money at the end of the week or at the end of the day. Whatever you make on top of that is yours. But as a result of which a lot of these bus drivers have lost out. What has also happened is that this has led to a number of illegal trips. So because the bus drivers knew that they had to make a certain amount of money, as you know, all bus companies, as per the LTA regulations, are supposed to run at certain times and not to cut across other bus companies. This is why there was so much competition going on. So a lot of these trips were being run illegally. So you saw that on the first couple of days, some people complained and said, oh, this bus used to come at a particular point in time, it no longer comes. Yes, because it was an illegal run. So people are running illegal trips. In the same way as we know, like for example, speaking because we're in the West today, between Nandi and Lautoka, even though the actual scheduled fare was, say 250 or 280, whatever it was, because they were competing with each other, they were unilaterally bringing the prices down. And of course they were competing with the minibuses too. So people were, there was a sort of unregulated approach to it. As we announced in the budget also, the fares that have been published are the regulated fare, but any bus company even now can charge less if they want to. That's allowed, but of course you still have to go through e-ticketing. And of course they can change the pricing on the stages as long as they don't go anything higher than whatever is the stated the amount. So we again now are saying, and we are looking at the various provisions, we urge all the bus companies that this bail-law bailee relationship is not going to work, because now it's e-ticketing. They do not actually get to take cash, because whatever you pay now to the bus company, they don't even get to see the cash. It goes directly into their bank accounts at the back end processing once Vodafone processes it. So we urge all the bus companies to ensure that they pay the correct amount of salaries to the bus drivers, that they need to ensure that now no longer they have the ability to take funds out, that they are paid overtime, that they paid the FMPF, that they paid the meal allowance, they paid the market rates. Just talking to a bus company today, they put up the salary now to $350 a week. It used to be $200. Now they put it up to $350 a week. So there are some bus companies who are taking some positive steps, and we urge the others to do so too, because now there is no opportunity for pilfering. We'll of course in the next couple of weeks be also looking at how we can tighten up this area. We have had now a couple of, there's one particular complaint we received today where a bus driver, as I had mentioned, for nearly 10 years had not been paid any FNPF, etc. But he wasn't even getting a pay slip. So now when he's gone and complained to the Ministry of Labour, they said, well, bring your pay slip so we can follow up with it. He said, well, I can't do it because I don't even have a pay slip. So he used to get paid cash on the side. So you see, this is what e-ticketing has revealed. It's actually revealed the exploitation that was taking place of some of the bus drivers and the very precarious situation that some of these bus drivers were in. So now that it has created that opportunity for transparency, we urge all the bus companies to do the right thing. And of course, we'll be talking to the Ministry of Labour to ensure that they go and actually make these checks on the bus companies to ensure that they pay the bus drivers fair and square, whatever is the market rate that they should be paid. So these are some of the issues that we wanted to highlight to you, but I think what has been wonderful about this is that it's created an enormous amount of transparency now. And a lot of the cobwebs that were within the system is now being addressed and indeed being revealed that previously was not revealed. We've also, for example, today had a meeting with the Education Office here in the Western Division to look at how, where there are some areas that they can improve in as far as the e-ticketing aspect is concerned, making sure that the data is up to date. In particular, for example, sometimes students, during the term move schools. So, for example, if a parent may be based in Lautoka and may get a job in Ba, may go to a different school to ensure that the e-ticketing cards for those children or those students are actually up to date, and how we can remove the bureaucracy to ensure that that actually happens. So there are some of the points that we wanted to highlight to you today.